11 News starts with severe weather Team 11 coverage.
A live look from Storm Tracker Doppler 11 radar tracking more snow. Right now, a break in the system. Well, this is slow moving and the snow will fall in a couple of rounds. Good afternoon, I'm Gordon Lesh.
I'm Jennifer Tomazik. A winter weather advisory, though, is in effect. Meteorologist Jessica Faith is pinpointing the timing in Severe Weather Center 11.
So we're looking good so far this midday, and as we go into the next few hours this afternoon, overall, most of the area will remain quiet. Now, we still have snow to move through this morning, and we still have those concerns for snow and ice on the roads. We're seeing a good bit of snow off to our north, still just a few spots in Washington and near Morgantown there, but taking a look close toward the north of Venango County, mostly northwestern Venango County, around Franklin there, we're starting to see some snow. Also, as we look toward Erie. Now, our snow chances will grow later this evening and tonight, and we can still see a few flurries going into tomorrow, so I'm going to track that out for you, but I do want to show you a look outside. Still cloudy, still looking gray, but really nothing falling from the sky right now. Temperatures are cold enough to support that snowfall for most of the area, 28 right now in Pittsburgh. Again, I'm going to go more into timing and also talk about totals that we can get from the remainder of this snow event. That's coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Jessica. An SUV stuck on frozen North Park Lake. You can see the back of the SUV cracked into the ice and falling in. And police say it didn't get there because of an accident. The driver drove onto the ice on purpose and had to be rescued. Channel 11's Mike Holden has developing details on this dangerous drive.
Folks tell us they're still trying to wrap their heads around what this driver did. Eventually, this towing company will remove the SUV from the frozen waters and up over this hill, but we're hearing it's a tedious process. A Channel 11 camera was rolling as emergency crews responded to the partially submerged SUV. They were called to the frozen lake at North Park around 10:30 last night. When they got to the Pierce Mill Road and Babcock area, they spotted the silver SUV peeking through the woods. Once they moved in closer, they realized how dangerous this situation was. Allegheny County police say a 24-year-old man attempted to drive across the lake. Police say he told them, quote, he thought it'd be fun to drive on the ice, but then he claimed he thought it was just a parking lot. One wheel eventually broke through the ice and he got stuck. He managed to escape the car and get to safety. Police had this strong message to everyone.
He was lucky to get out, and we hope this serves as an example to stay off the ice in North Park. It is dangerous, without a doubt.
And police tell us charges are now pending against the driver of that SUV. In the meantime, we're now talking with neighbors who were drawn to this site, their message to the driver, as well as the recovery and rescue efforts. All of that coming up for Channel 11 News starting at 5 o'clock tonight. Reporting in North Park, Mike Holden, Channel 11 News.
In the past hour, the Allegheny County Health Department has updated us on COVID cases. It says it's learned of 247 new cases since yesterday, and that number is the highest that we've seen this week. State leaders are set to brief us on the vaccine shortage during this newscast, so we will bring you any new breaking details. You might have heard of this. Thousands of people who thought they could soon get that COVID vaccine are out of luck. This is what we broke yesterday at noon. There is a temporary shortage right now because some providers accidentally gave away second doses of the vaccine as first ones. We have gotten some new information, though, since yesterday, so now there is a major effort underway to guarantee that people can get their second dose soon. Now, this is for the Moderna vaccine, not for the Pfizer one, and the state is saying that there are 30 to 60,000 second dose shots that might have to be rescheduled. Allegheny County told us that they were not involved in this, but the shortage could cause some appointments that were made through the county to be postponed. If you have been impacted, your vaccine provider should contact you.
The state says high school athletes must wear a mask during PIAA playoffs. That decision was announced last night. If a player qualifies for a medical exemption under the state mask mandate, then the school must complete a form and send it to the association. The PIAA director says they won't question the information submitted by schools, even if several students are listed. This new rule does not apply to WPIAL playoffs. The league decided to continue to use their current policy, which allows athletes to not wear masks if they submit a form saying they screened for COVID in accordance to their school's health and safety plans.
If you or one of your kids are planning to go to college in the near future, the governor has an offer, a free ride for undergrads at 14 different state universities. But there is a catch. Channel 11's Alyssa Raymond explains how the plan would work.
The cost of a college education keeps going up. Now, the Wolf administration wants to give students going to state schools more scholarship money. The catch? They have to stay in Pennsylvania after graduating.
We want them to stay in Pennsylvania. Right now, we're losing many of our best and brightest students to other states, and that's having a detrimental effect on all of us.
In an effort to keep PA's college grads in the state, Governor Tom Wolf shared details about his proposed Nellie Bly scholarship. Student loan debt for Pennsylvanians is around $68 billion. It's among the highest in the nation, averaging more than $39,000 per student. The program would provide a scholarship to full-time undergraduate students who have a household income of under $104,800, plus attend any of the 14 universities in the Pennsylvania state system of higher education.
To be eligible, a student at one of our 14 PASHE schools needs to agree to live in Pennsylvania for the same number of years that they receive the stipend. If they decide to leave Pennsylvania before that point, then the tuition converts automatically to a loan.
The Wolf administration says the scholarship would cover the tuition and fees gap not covered by a student's Pell and PA state grants, and would also create a fund to cover any emergency expenses, such as books, final account balances, and room and board. So where's the money coming from, and just how many students could benefit from this? I'm working on that part of the story for later on today at 5. Reporting from Slippery Rock University, Alyssa Raymond, Channel 11 News.
A real crisis continues in Texas. Millions are still facing frigid temperatures, many without access to power, heat, or water. Recent storms have caused nearly 36 deaths. And as Morgan Chesky explains, the fear that the worst may not be over yet.
Oh my God.
This morning, misery in Texas.
It's really freezing. It's horrible.
Millions statewide spending another night in the dark without electricity, heat, and for a growing number, running water. Flooding homes, only adding to the nightmare. State officials offering little guidance on when any of it will be over.
Every source of power that the state of Texas has been compromised.
Lavelle Traylor and her father, Lewis, have spent the past 4 days inside a cold, dark home, using a single gas stove to stay warm.
I know God is here, but who else? We're supposed to take care of our people.
To the south in Houston and Galveston, millions being told to boil their water after outages impacted treatment plants.
Going to be in this for a couple of more days.
Emergency officials now fielding hundreds of calls related to carbon monoxide poisoning as people resort to desperate measures to stay warm.
Do not use grills indoors and do not run your car inside your garage.
And with limited water, even fire departments are struggling to battle blazes.
They're running from one call to the next, trying to do the best that they can.
The Lone Star State is alone in having its own power grid, allowing it to bypass federal regulations that would require safeguards for this exact type of cold weather. ERCOT, the nonprofit that operates the grid, admitting they are not able to compete with Mother Nature.
ERCOT saw the storm coming. The storm blew in. It also did damage to the supply side, and that knocked us enough out of balance that we had to take on these outages, as difficult and damaging as they have been.
The dangerous storms roaring across the country, leaving snow and bitter cold from Arkansas to Illinois. The Northeast now bracing for impact as folks in Texas do their best to survive. And we do know that Governor Greg Abbott has now outlawed the sale of natural gas over state lines in an effort to make sure that generators here have ample fuel. Morgan Chesky, NBC News, Dallas.
And as millions deal with power outages in the freezing cold, Texas Senator Ted Cruz is in hot water. The Republican lawmaker is under fire for jetting to Cancun with his family. Photos of him boarding the flight are making the rounds on social media. According to the Associated Press, it was a long-planned trip. Cruz is now expected to return home immediately. Now that those refineries are knocked out in Texas, gas prices are expected to rise as much as 20 cents a gallon in the coming days. And that could also signal a move towards $3 a gallon by summer, and likely more in Pennsylvania because of gas taxes here. The refinery outages have removed about 20% of the nation's capacity. This is the day NASA and space enthusiasts around the world have been waiting for. This afternoon, NASA will attempt to land its latest and greatest unmanned rover on Mars. It's NASA's fourth rover, named Perseverance, and it's bigger and much more sophisticated than any other.
Yeah, you know, it actually took 7 months just to get to Mars. NBC's Tom Costello explains NASA is promising a view of the red planet like we have never seen before.
Veteran NASA engineers call it their 7 minutes of terror. This afternoon, the spacecraft named Perseverance begins its final fiery descent, traveling at 12,000 miles per hour as it breaks through the thin Martian atmosphere. Deploying the biggest supersonic parachutes ever made. Then, using new imaging technology, it will guide itself towards the Martian landing zone, where a sky crane will gently lower the rover to the ground.
There are many things that have to go right to get Perseverance onto the ground safely.
The target, an area called the Jezero Crater, right there. A dry lake bed about the size of Lake Tahoe, 3 to 4 billion years old. Selected because buried in the delta may be the best evidence of ancient microbial life.
Did that ancient life adapt, as life on Earth has? And is it somewhere underneath the surface, hiding from the radiation, hiding from the stark low pressure of Mars' atmosphere?
To find out, NASA has sent Perseverance, its most sophisticated rover yet, loaded down with microphones so humans can listen to the Martian surface, cameras, imagers, radar, spectrometers, and drills. Perseverance will drill into the Martian rock and soil, collecting samples in dozens of sterile tubes to be brought back to Earth in 10 years or so.
Interesting. So very interesting. That was Tom Costello reporting. So NASA is going to live stream the rover landing starting at 2 o'clock this afternoon.
No, not as long as I'm living.
She has been searching for answers into the death of her son for almost 2 decades. Why she thinks the crime scene was staged.
Chaos at a Trader Joe's store. The message from police for maskless protesters.
So most of the area looking on the quiet side this midday, but when could you see more snow today? I have the timeline and updated totals coming up.
And the COVID vaccine on the black market, and money talks, the people who are skipping the line to get vaccinated before you. Welcome back. Employees at an assisted living center are being told to get the vaccine or they could lose their job. Workers at the Pines of Mount Lebanon told us that they were being forced to get the vaccine. They shared a letter with us that said this urgent appeal is to clarify that we have decided we must require COVID-19 vaccinations as a condition of employment for all members of our team. So we talked to the CEO of IntegraCare. That's the company that owns this senior living center.
I would say what's unfair is to put residents at risk from employees that are not vaccinated.
One of the workers who reached out to us gave us their opinion. They said that residents were able to waive their rights on receiving the vaccine. I believe we should also have that choice. 96% of the staff and 94% of the residents have already been vaccinated at the Pines of Mount Lebanon.
State prison inmates are getting paid to get the COVID-19 vaccine. The Department of Corrections says once an inmate gets both doses, $25 will be added to their account. Now, that money comes from an inmate fund and is not taxpayer money. It is obviously being used as an incentive. Officials call prisons a breeding ground for infectious diseases. They say staff can carry the virus to family and communities. This week, 800 people were vaccinated at the Laurel Highlands Jail in Somerset County. The state corrections secretary defended the rollout, saying the feds define prisons as long-term care facilities and therefore they fall under Phase 1A.
Vaccines are being sold on the black market.
And there are already reports of wealthy tourists, donors, and celebrities skipping the line, getting vaccinated against the CDC recommendations and before you. 11 Investigates' Aaron Martin takes a look at the issue.
When you think of the black market, you think of some dark alley deal being done. But when it comes to a life-saving vaccine, it can be happening in the bright lights of a doctor's office.
There are a couple of group practices where if you pay money, you get what's called concierge care, better access, quicker access. Some of those have managed to buy vaccine and give it out. That's black market.
There's still a lot that's unknown about the COVID-19 vaccine distribution plan the Trump administration started, and it seems little accountability for how much vaccine has been given and how much has been produced. The new White House administration makes it clear it may be hard to figure out.
So the confusion around this issue, which we acknowledge there is some confusion, speaks to a larger problem, which is what we're inheriting from the prior administration, which is much worse than we could have imagined.
And that opens the door for black market vaccine.
Black markets only flourish when people fear they can't get the vaccine.
States are becoming more and more aware of the issue as the shortage of supply continues. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo threatened fines up to $1 million and to pull the license of any medical professionals going against those CDC guidelines. Florida Senator Rick Scott called for an investigation after allegations of hospital donors being offered a vaccine came up in South Florida. And let's not forget the pandemic had people selling toilet paper at a premium. So why wouldn't a life-saving vaccine be the same?
Well, there is a real risk that money could start to divert trucks.
So how do you stop it? NYU professor Arthur Kaplan says you have to work on the logistics in order to ease people's fears. Reporting in Pittsburgh, Aaron Martin, Channel 11 News.
A lot to keep an eye on there. Governor Tom Wolf is reiterating his call to legalize marijuana. In a pair of tweets, he said profits from cannabis sales would help us recover from COVID and urged people to tell their legislators to legalize the drug. Pennsylvania's medical marijuana industry is cultivating new jobs. It reached new highs last year. That's according to a new report from Leafly. The online cannabis marketplace found there are just under 16,000 workers across the state. That makes Pennsylvania the 10th biggest state in terms of employment. The report also found that Pennsylvania saw more than $810 million in sales last year.
Here's a warning for parents. Keep your kids out of snow piles. Watch this video here. It's the vantage point of a snowplow driver, and he was actually driving up to plow that big snow pile when he saw a kid tunneling into the snow. Look at that. He gets out, and you see the child there. You kind of see his feet in that little hole, and then he pops his head up. Luckily, he did notice that. He got out and told the kid, "You got to get out of there because I almost just plowed right through this." And so that's super scary. And you know what this made me think of? Something that Trisha Pittman always talks about, something similar here. She talks about kids not playing in piles of leaves on the side of the road. So some good reminders for parents in every season.
You're your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
Yeah, all of this snow bringing so many different potential impacts. And we still see a few snow showers right now. We have seen just a few light flurries on the tower cam. Maybe if you look close, you can see them. There some goes right there. And we do have a bit of a wind. The actual temperature right now, 28, very cold for this time of year, even for this midday hour. The wind chill making it feel like 21. So just know that the wind is a little bit of a factor. And we do have a few flurries in Pittsburgh and also across the area. So we have that potential for snow throughout the rest of the day. It's going to be on and off. Some will see snow like right now. Some won't see any. And the potential will build as we go later into the evening and nighttime hours. So we still have to watch out for snowy and icy roads, especially if any snow hasn't been cleared off from the snow we got this morning or even previous days. That could potentially still be an issue. Live Storm Tracker Doppler 11 radar, we do see most of the snow off to the north here, the highest coverage, but we still have a few snow showers down to the south around Uniontown. Even as we look toward Washington, mostly north of Washington, a few flurries have pushed into Pittsburgh, northern Washington County, seeing some flurries also north and even south of Beaver right now. And of course, off toward the north of Butler, northern Butler County, getting some snow right now, some snow showers mostly to the south of Newcastle. We have had on and off snow throughout Venango County, right around Franklin. I imagine Franklin seeing a few flurries right now. Now, storm tracker for the rest of the day, especially this afternoon, hasn't really been too impressive with snow chances for the afternoon hours. Is looking more like later this evening after sunset that coverage builds back in. So here's 9 o'clock. A lot of us may be inside seeing some snow showers scattered in nature. We do have that potential for a wintry mix farther toward the south, so south of Pittsburgh here, maybe around Uniontown, points toward the south, even Morgantown as well. We'll have to watch that. And we do keep a small chance for maybe a few flurries into tomorrow morning. Not too impactful, but could still reduce visibility, make things slick for you as you head out and about on Friday morning. Here's 8 o'clock, especially in the mountain ridges. You all have that potential to hang on to a few remaining snow showers, and then we trend in the right direction back to calmer conditions as we wrap up the rest of this work week and head into the weekend. We could see about 2 to 4 inches for Pittsburgh, Washington, Katanning, lesser amounts farther toward the north and west. And then we're dry this weekend. I'm going to talk more about this weekend and about the beginning of the new work week, because on Monday we could have another round of rain and snow. What does the coverage look like? Well, I'll let you know coming up.
A protest at a Trader Joe's out west. The message from police for the maskless group that stormed the store.
And caught on camera, the Hayes bald eagles were forced to fight for their nest. The unwelcome guests they chased away. Welcome back. Take a look at this video here. That's the Hayes bald eagles. They were caught on camera defending their nest. Look at that guy crawling up there. That is a raccoon, and he went up about 80 feet just to get to the bald eagle's nest. Both of those eagle parents started flapping their wings, you see there, and the raccoon took off, and those eagles were protecting 2 eggs. It's exactly what any parent would do, right? Well, the cracked egg in Brentwood cannot open its doors while its case is being appealed. A judge just ruled on that, saying that the owners largely chose their fate. The cracked egg was ordered to close earlier this month or follow COVID-19 masking measures. The owner continued to defy the mandate. During a hearing last month, the owner testified she would never enforce a mask order for fear it would turn customers away.
A group of maskless people stormed a Trader Joe's in California going against a mask mandate. The group ignored calls from workers to leave. They say they have the right to shop freely at businesses open to the public without wearing masks. But Santa Cruz PD says that's not the case. They say private stores can refuse service.
This is not acceptable in our community, and we're going to take aggressive action when we have the opportunity to do so.
A sign outside the store says face coverings are required while shopping inside. At checkout, the group tried placing their money on the counter, but that's when workers refused. Trader Joe's corporate has not commented on the incident.
A man and woman allegedly worked together to steal big screen TVs, talking big screens, from local Walmarts.
I can't believe they got away with it.
How police say they managed to catch them in the act.
We may catch some snow this midday. We still have some snow in a few spots. I'm going to show you that timeline for the snow for the rest of the day and talk more about impacts coming up.
have a live look for you from Storm Tracker Doppler 11 radar. We are looking at some more snow, though you can see there are some breaks in it. So that means it's going to kind of come and go in waves throughout the day.
Yeah, let's head back to meteorologist Jessica Faith tracking that snow now in Severe Weather Center 11.
Yeah, so we do have breaks, very scattered in nature, which means a lot of folks not seeing any snowfall, but we still have our fair share as we go throughout the day. Seeing a bit of snow mainly north of Pittsburgh, but Pittsburgh is getting a few flurries this midday. A lot of folks have been telling me we are usually not this snowy or haven't been this snowy in the past few years. Now, since December 1st, 70% of the days that we've had have at least a trace of snow. That is a lot. So we have some more snow coming today, and we look to have a nice break this weekend. That's some good news for some folks, but snow chances come just around the corner shortly after this break as we start the new work week. I'm going to show you that information, so giving you kind of a heads up. And I'm going to talk more about this weekend and the impacts we could see with today's snowfall as we go throughout the afternoon and evening. So that's all coming up in just a few minutes.
All right. Thanks so much, Jessica. You know, North Huntington, they are saying it's kind of tough going when it comes to salt. They have enough to get through today, but they fear that they might run out of salt before the next big storm. Public Works Director told our TRIB partners that they still have not gotten their order of ice melting rocks that they put in back in January. Now, that was for 3,400 tons. Keep this in mind. They use 150 tons of salt during a snowstorm, and if it's a big storm, trucks could make 3 or 4 trips. If another storm comes, North Huntington says they might only be able to partially treat the roads to make them passable.
A theft ring targeting local Walmart stores. Police say these people walked into local Walmart stores and walked out with big screen TVs worth thousands of dollars. These are just some of the local stores police say these suspects targeted. Channel 11's Jillian Hartman found out how it all came crashing down.
Well, police tell me it was the same MO every time. The suspects stole big screen TVs from inside Walmarts, like the one here in Cranberry Township, loaded them into a cart, placed them in their car, and drove off. But thanks to some quick thinking, in a matter of minutes, 2 local police departments combined forces, bringing this whole thing to an end. This woman, Chastity Jarvisani of Duquesne, is in a lot of trouble after police say she stole thousands of dollars worth of TVs at Walmart stores across our area with help from a man named Devarian Smith. These exclusive surveillance photos from Northern Regional Police show the duo in December walking into the Walmart in Richland Township empty-handed, but then leaving with 65 or 70-inch televisions minutes later.
These aren't the small ones that you would have on your countertop. These are large TVs.
We made a map of the stores they targeted, including Cranberry Township and Pittsburgh Mills, sometimes hitting the same location several times. Police say the stolen TVs are worth more than $5,700.
I'm shocked, especially here in Cranberry. I can't believe they got away with it.
I did ask Cranberry Township Police how the suspects managed to do this.
When they would enter the store, they would go to the electronics section. They would remove the spiders, the security packaging from the televisions, put them onto a cart, and just wheel them right out the exit.
Northern Regional Police tell me once the 2 were caught, the woman confessed, saying, quote, "We stole so many televisions from so many Walmarts, I can't keep track." It was a team effort to capture the alleged thieves. After getting a description of the suspect's car from a Walmart employee, it helped police catch them days later on December 26th at the Walmart in Richland. An off-duty Northern Regional Police officer just so happened to be nearby at the time and stood watch before his fellow officers arrived.
That's great that he took his time out of his day to do that and catch them.
Police say the man and woman ended up getting spooked and left a cart full of TVs in the store. Police conducted a traffic stop and brought them back to the station for questioning, where they confessed to the thefts. At this time, the man has not been processed. Now, the woman's arraignment is scheduled for next month. She is facing a number of charges, including retail theft. Reporting in Cranberry Township, I'm Jillian Hartman, Channel 11 News.
Now, here is evidence that so many people are concerned about the COVID vaccine right now. More than 6,000 people dialed in for a virtual town hall with UPMC last night. Only Channel 11 was there to cover it. The most asked question, when will a vaccine be available to everyone?
I think we're going to be talking about weeks or months before your place in line comes up for a vaccine, not days.
If you do have some more questions, UPMC is going to do another one of these virtual town hall meetings. It will be on March 16th. Nearly 10 million fake N95s were seized by the federal government. They were on their way to hospitals and medical facilities. Homeland Security is notifying close to 6,000 people in 12 states who may have unknowingly purchased these knockoffs. The new investigation was sparked after 3M spotted knockoffs of their masks. They've uploaded tips on their website on how to spot fakes. And Customs and Border Protection in Pittsburgh tells us that over the past year, they have seized as many as 10 million fake masks. Nearly all of them were headed to local vendors, including trademark names.
The Steelers confirmed head coach Mike Tomlin and members of his staff were sent home from the Southside facility yesterday for precautionary measures because of several positive COVID tests. And Steelers GM Kevin Colbert is talking about Ben Roethlisberger's future. At this point, nothing is a sure thing. The Steelers and Roethlisberger did meet to talk about the upcoming season and possible changes to his contract. Roethlisberger's cap hit is too much for the Steelers, so some deal will have to happen, and Colbert shared with us where things stand.
He reiterated that to us, that he wants to continue to play. And we told him, quite frankly, we have to look at this current situation. With Ben's current cap number, some adjustment will have to be made. And we're not negotiating as we sit here and answer this question. Hopefully there's a way that we can try to figure out and do what's best for the organization.
There's not much time to compromise. The Steelers must be cap compliant by the start of the new league year, and that is March 17th.
He or she would have taken 2 more steps, I would have got him.
That is how close security cameras came to catching a thief in the act. What was stolen from veterans' graves.
If he or she would have taken 2 more steps, I would have got him.
That is how close security cameras came to catching a thief at a local cemetery on video. Someone stole World War II bronze emblems and a World War I metal emblem from gravestones. We first told you about the story on Monday, and since then we talked with investigators about the thefts. 5 markers were stolen from St. Mary's Cemetery in New Florence, that's in Westmoreland County. Jeff Hedges owns the business next door, and he says he could tell by the footprints in the snow that the thief nearly walked into range of his security cameras.
Our society seems to be breaking down. the lack of respect for other people or to the people who have passed. And then veterans specifically. We wouldn't have our country if we didn't have our veterans.
And state police are now telling pawn shop owners to be on the lookout for these markers.
Pittsburgh's Mellon Park could soon be deemed a historic site. According to our partners at the Trib, the designation would protect the park's legacy. It would also require city officials to sign off on any improvements or changes.
You can go do a lap around the park, catch your breath, get inspired, take a little break from what you're doing.
Those are all good things. Council is set to vote on the designation when it meets on Tuesday.
I'm going to start off with some good news. We have 30 days until spring, but between now and then, we do have some more snow as soon as today, even as we start next week. I'm going to go into those details and tell you what you can expect.
You're not going to give up?
No, not as long as I'm living.
She's been searching for answers into the death of her son for almost 2 decades. Why she believes the crime scene was staged.
Welcome back. It has been almost 19 years since 2 teens were found on a dark, secluded road in Butler County. Both of them passed away, and no one has ever been charged with a crime.
Even today, it's not quite clear what caused their deaths. Target 11 investigator Rick Earl has more on the case that has haunted both families and police.
On a cold, blustery day, Aleve Roush and her daughter showed me the exact location where her son Scott Fosnot and his friend Sean Bauer were found nearly 2 decades ago.
Thinking it was in the middle of the road?
I think Scotty was in the middle, and Sean was 20 feet. I'm not sure what direction he was.
Fosnot's injuries were consistent with being hit by a car, but Bauer only had an injury to the top of his head. Roush believes it was made to look like a hit and run.
And I believe that it was no accident. I believe the boys got somebody angry maybe, and it was a plan for them to leave that house.
You guys think it was a setup. You guys think that something happened to them, and they staged this to make it look like an accident.
Right.
No skid marks or car parts were ever found.
I had people look at his autopsy report, like people who know what they're doing, and they all say that it's consistent with a car. but my gut feeling is just, I think he was beaten and ran over. I mean, I can't get rid of that feeling.
Roush says her son told her he was going to spend that July night at a friend's house. But earlier in the evening, he went to a party at an abandoned farmhouse, hung out with friends. He ended up that night at a friend's house on Cash Dollar Road. But early the next morning, he and Bauer, according to another friend, decided to leave and walk to their homes about a mile away. Just before 2 a.m., a woman driving down Cash Dollar Road near Evans City spotted the two 15-year-old boys lying on the road, not far from the house where they had been. Fosnot was already deceased, Bauer still alive.
Yeah, they life-flighted him, and he lived for like 30 minutes, but he couldn't speak.
The mom has some theories about what happened. How do you guys respond to that?
Any theory is going to be on the table. We'll treat any theory, and we'll take a look at anything.
Police said both teens drank alcohol earlier, but were not drunk at the time of death. Crime Stoppers is now offering a $10,000 reward for information that leads to an arrest.
We do believe that there was a vehicle involved. There's a lot of evidence kind of pointing in that direction, but there's still a lot of details that we don't know, and that's why we find ourselves, 18 years later, still with a lot of questions.
Roush and her daughter, who was 10 at the time, say they never imagined it would go unsolved this long.
Maybe a few years or not even that, and we would all have some closure so they could also rest in peace and we could have a peace of mind, but it's just ruining our lives, it completely ruined our lives, and it's just, the pain never goes away.
I mean, a small community, somebody knows something.
In an effort to keep focus on this cold case, Fosnot's mom held a rally in front of the state police barracks last summer. You're not going to give up?
No, not as long as I'm living. That was my kid. I mean, I gotta be their voices, I'm a person who has to do the right thing, and I need other people to step up and do what's right.
Now, the investigation did lead to some charges. The mother of a friend of the teens pleaded guilty to supplying the alcohol they had earlier that day. She was given probation, but police said that had no direct connection to their deaths. Rick Earl, Channel 11 News.
Well, we want to hear from you. If there's an unsolved case that you want Rick Earl to look into, you can send us a tip on our website.
With the temperatures as it is outside, we were truly freezing for a reason.
Yep, that is these deputies' mantra. Look at that. Water balloons being popped over their heads. These guys and gals are with the Allegheny County Sheriff's Office, and this is such a neat thing. So they were raising a lot of money for the PA Special Olympics. You see it back here behind me. They actually, for this pop, they raised $10,000. So way to go, guys.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
So we're seeing some scattered snow right now across the area. Here's a look at the rest of your day. Very little impacts and little snowfall, mostly light snowfall, some flurries throughout the afternoon past sunset. Later this evening, especially tonight, we have more snow that will increase in coverage and could really impact your commute. So just keep this in mind. Areas that could be greatly impacted, the mountain ridges. Not only will you see snow today, but into tomorrow morning as well. I-70 points toward the south. You can not only see snow, but even some icy areas with some rain and freezing rain. So just keep that in mind. Lesser impacts the farther north you go, and also the farther west you go. As far as snowfall, we could see an additional 2 inches in some spots, less amounts as we go farther toward the west. And this is throughout the rest of the day into tomorrow. Tomorrow, we'll hang on to a few remaining flurries, mainly during the morning hours, trending better, trending drier, going throughout the day on Friday. So you may see a few flurries, some snow falling first thing in the morning. By the second half of the day, you should be good to go. We do have any remaining flurries. They'll be not lasting much longer. This weekend, we're looking dry. Really great time to get outside. I will say we will be quite cold, but much warmer going into Sunday afternoon, that is. And we also see even more sunshine going into Sunday here, Sunday morning. That cloud cover will grow, though, throughout the day. So by the second half of the day, mainly late afternoon, closer to sunset, we're going to see more cloud cover. So if you do want to get out and about, maybe catch that sunshine, the earlier the better. And then all of this cloud cover is ahead of the snow chance we're going to see Monday. And this will be also mixed in with possible freezing rain and rain. Here's 5 o'clock Monday morning, and it looks like a pretty decent shot and decent coverage throughout the working hours. So afternoon, evening, but as we go into the nighttime hours, or the evening commute rather, looking to clear that chance out. It's going to be moving north, and conditions look better during the evening and nighttime hours. So mainly from, let's say, 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. That's the time is looking right now for Monday. So enjoy this nice break while you can. Now, going into the weekend, Saturday starts off into the teens, gets into the mid-20s. Sunday starts off in the single digits, but warms up into the 30s. And Monday, we could see some warmer air as well, getting into the upper 30s before more cold air moves in going into the middle of next week.
All right, thanks, Jessica. Facebook users in Australia can no longer find and share news. The company has blocked users and outlets from posting news content. The move is in response to a proposed legislation forcing tech companies to pay publishers. Access was also blocked to government resources, including the pandemic, emergency services, and weather reports. Government officials say they will clarify some issues with Facebook, and there may be room for negotiation during the next few days.
All right, so I know that right now we're all spending a lot of time at home. We want to make home special. We want to spend a little more time outside. But how do you do that without a whole home remodeling project? Wait, I have a better idea. This is the Flicker Fire personal fireplace. And isn't it the best idea? Because you can just literally have this fabulous little fireplace anywhere you want to have it. It's bigger than a candle, but it's a personal fireplace and you can use it indoors or out. So I love the idea of a chilly afternoon, a chilly evening, and you have the Flicker fireplaces out and you keep your hands warm and you can roast marshmallows. And I have my graham crackers and chocolate chips and white chocolate. Oh, roast marshmallows and then dip them like fondue or pour chocolate sauce over them. Wouldn't that be amazing? But hey, maybe you're going to stay inside. And you're just thinking, you know what, I'd like to add a little ambiance to family dinner. Take some of these, put them down the center of the table, put the food on either side. Automatically, it feels like you're someplace special in a restaurant, some faraway exotic land that none of us are going to right now. There's something about a fire, a beautiful little fire that you can have anywhere you want and you don't have to worry about it. I also love the fact that this doesn't take any stinky fuel because it just uses rubbing alcohol. So how simple and easy is that for a really great clean burn? And I have been seeing these everywhere in the coolest, most posh places where I know you're going to pay what you normally pay, but right now on localsteels.com, they're 29% off. So perfect time to stock up, perfect time for gift giving. What do you get someone? They have a birthday coming up or a housewarming gift or a hostess gift. What do you get them? A Flicker Fire personal fireplace. I guarantee you it's going to make your days more cozy, whether you're spending them inside or outside, with family, with friends, or by yourself. There's nothing better than a fireplace that goes with you anywhere, everywhere, all the time. I know you're going to love it.
else longing for the beach right now? Okay, maybe this video from Florida will warm you up a little bit here today. Pirates and catchers and their pitchers, they are working out in Pirate City down in Bradenton. Pitcher Mitch Keller is starting spring training with a bit of optimism.
The young team that we're building around, I think it's pretty exciting stuff. I know Pittsburgh fans might think that, we're trading everyone away, but I think it's pretty exciting what we have going on here. And like Shelty said, we're excited for this journey and to bring this back to a winning ball club again.
That's what we're hoping. The Pirates' first spring training game is the last day of this month, and the regular season gets underway April 1st against the Cubs in Chicago.
There's a new push in Harrisburg to raise dog license fees. If approved, it would go from $6.50 a year to $10. The department in charge says the increase is needed to prevent more cuts, including layoffs. Secretary Russell Redding warned that Pennsylvania could regain the dubious moniker as the nation's puppy mill capital without the hike. A wallaby was just going for a stroll when he wandered into a hospital in Australia. You can see the animal bounce up to the automatic doors there. When they open, the wallaby decided to, take a look around, bouncing back past at least one worker and peering through some windows before bouncing out of the hospital and heading home. Not interested.
Just like boing, 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 boing.
That's all for Channel 11 News at noon. Our next newscast is tonight at 5.
You can get breaking updates anytime on all of our streaming apps. That's just searching on Apple TV, Roku, or Amazon Fire for WPXI. Have a great afternoon. Be safe out there.